Welcome to Fangirl Diaries. This is your fangirl host with the most, Danny. And let's get into today's entry. Happy Twice concert day, everyone. Woo, woo, woo. We're coming to you pre-recorded, not live, on the day that Twice is in New York City. Woo, woo, woo. Woo, woo, Lilia. Pathetic. While we're doing our monthly recap, because it's the end of February, I don't know why I was thinking March, you're going to hear a lot of weird sounds because I'm literally doing my makeup while we're recording this because I'm heading to a Twice concert after this. We're also recording in a new area to try to test out new recording spots, and this is a great one. It's going to be a great episode. Why? Because Rocky's actually here for once. Say something, Rocky. Did you catch that? So I guess we should start off with my monthly watch list. What I dropped, what I watched, what I finished. I watched a good amount, but I also didn't put down a lot of what I watched, which is funny because I kept starting shows and then like not really starting shows, if that makes any sense. I will say I'm going to start with shows I finished. I only finished one show this month, and that's either because most of the shows I was watching have just started. So the only show that I rewatched this month, because I finally got my hands on a copy of this manga, even though I can't read it because it's all in Japanese, is My Personal Weatherman. We are doing an episode on that soon for springtime. But I went to Kinokuniya the other day. Did I tell you what happened? No, I didn't tell you. So I went to Kinokuniya. I was having like a shopping day, and I was like, I really want to buy a BL, but all the BLs that are published in English, I either have like the first couple volumes already, or I couldn't remember what volume I was missing because there was one that I'm trying to get. I need to get volume 34 and I keep forgetting. And I was like, there's not much published out there that I need right now. And I was like, you know what? I should see if I know My Personal Weatherman doesn't have like an English translation, although it should. I was like, they sell Japanese books here. Why don't I just go check to see if they have it? So as I was going through, I found Punk's Triangle for both volumes. I found also 10 Things to Do Before I Turn 40, Volume 2, because that's already out in Japan. We're not getting it here until the summer in English. Or not even, I think it's not coming out until November in English, which sucks. We need to do an episode of just the books that we've done on shows adapted by. And so I was in Kinokuniya, I think an hour before it closed. And let me tell you, where usually you'll find workers there, but for whatever reason, I could not find a worker. I think that was my anxiety being yo, don't ask. That's weird if you ask. That's perverted if you ask. But I was standing near the Japanese BL, the non-translated ones, just standing there kind of looking through, because it's got an English title, but it's written in Japanese, I think. Yeah, on the side it's written in Japanese. So I could not figure out how the alphabet is done on the shelf, how everything is organized. So I kept wanting to ask the workers because I had a photo of the cover, but every time a worker would walk by, either someone else would grab them or they would quickly walk past me. They're we don't want to talk to this pervert. And when I found it, it was a miracle because I was close to giving up, and then I finally pulled it out of the shelf and I was like, oh. So I bought it. I went to the cash register with 2 magazines that also were Japanese. One of them, I'm not even joking, has one of the actors in it for 2 pages. So it was fate. And then, yeah. That was my whole story about the show that I finished because I rewatched My Personal Weatherman. They're both Power Rangers. Lilia. Oh my God. That means we can find his videos too and react to them. Well, I don't think he's going to dance like a pirate like the other one. It was a classic. It was top tier. So yeah, that's the only show that I finished because it's fucking 8 episodes and you can watch it in a day. That and I rewatched Cinderella's Closet 30 more times because of course I did. Okay, should we do shows I dropped next? Yeah. It's just silent partner today. Yeah. Thank you. So there were 2 shows. One of them I dropped because I've watched it before and I was trying to kind of rewatch it because I was debating if we should do an episode on it soon. And then I got a couple episodes in and I was like, fuck that. And then the other one is only because of how I had to watch it. So I'll start with the first one. I was watching Sunset Vibes, Moss Bank's second show. I don't hate them as a couple. I think they're actually dating in real life. They're actually really cute as a couple. I've watched videos of them together. My one issue is that anytime they do a show, the show plot sounds really interesting, and then halfway through, it kind of falls off. Like, that was my issue with Big Dragon, is that it starts off really good. You think you're gonna get this mafia love story of like two rivals fighting for the same girl, and then suddenly it falls off to something else. And Sunset Vibe has like a more like supposed to have more fantasy feel through it as part of the plot, and then it like drops off. And I didn't watch it in a while, so I was like, oh, let me try again. Let me. I got 4 episodes in, and I'm like, I'm not doing this right now. I don't have the mental capacity to be doing this right now. I'm like so tired. And then I dropped it. That's kind of it. I will revisit because I do have a show coming out, I think this year, or they filmed a pilot a couple of weeks ago, and I'm like, I should really do one of their shows just to get it over with. What do you think, Rocky? And then the other show that I dropped, funny enough, correlates to a show that I started. I was watching the Thai version of Cherry Magic, which is the Taenu show. Lily, if you don't know who Taenu is, that's Pokusan's dads. You love Pokusan. Say you love Pokusan. Say it.
I love Pokusan.
See, Lilia loves Pokusan. I want to do Cherry Magic as like my birthday episode because I'm turning 30 and the characters in that show turn 30. But the problem is, so from what I've read, and someone can correct me in the comments or correct me later, supposedly the Thai version of that show, they can't distribute it here in the States. So it's adapted off a Japanese manga / series. So there is a Japanese series already. But for whatever reason, and I don't get why this show specifically, because it's GMM, and they adapted Osana's Love, which is also a Japanese show that already had a series. For some reason, this one, I keep reading that they're not allowed to distribute. Like, the people who own the rights to it in Japan won't allow them to distribute it anywhere else. And, like, the only way to really watch it is, like, to get a VPN to switch YouTube to Thailand. But, like, I don't know if that'll have, like, the subtitles and everything. So I was watching the first episode on an illegal website, and then it got taken down, and I found it again on the same website. But the problem is, it's the frustrating aspect of like, I literally would have to sit down on my computer or try to download this app onto my phone. It's Daily Motion. I don't care. And try to like watch it all, but it's going to be frustrating because I still have to watch commercials. It's not like I could download it or anything like that. So yeah, I don't know how I want to watch it. I just need to commit myself to watch it. And we have so many other shows that we're doing episodes on first that I didn't drop it because I didn't like it. I watched that first episode and I really, really like it. And I like the story of Cherry Magic. And I really want to watch it because I love Pokusan and I want to support their dads. But they're not in that many shows as like the lead couple. I think Cherry Magic might have been the last show they leaded in. I could be wrong. I have to look that up. But they were supposed to have, they're filming a show now called A Dog in a Plane. That started filming, which that was part of my news. Oh, well. Actually, no, it wasn't. I didn't put that in news. So I know they started filming that or they're workshopping it or whatever. And then they were supposed to have another show come out next year called Reset that got canceled because there was some issues with the author. Like the author who wrote the story was like a bad person or some shit. So that's kind of sad. But I really want to watch it because I want us to do an episode on Cherry Magic. And that was the one I wanted to do because it would have been great because we could have done the song of the week would have been a Pokusan song what they did together, all 3 of them. Not I Am Pokusan, but a different one. So those, I mean, what other shows did I watch other than Draw? I mean, I watched a lot of shows. Like I started a lot of shows that like I was already watching and like would stop because I've already seen them. You know, it's something that I've like actually started. Actually, no, I did drop Dare You to Death. That's another one. The Netflix. That's the Jeonnung one. Only because I've been prioritizing shows on streaming services that I do pay for. So like iQIYI, Gaga Ulala. Because I pay for those and I'm trying to get the most out of them. So I didn't drop Dare You to Death for anything other than like, I watched the first 2 episodes on the plane to London. Came back. Watched maybe the 3rd episode like this month and then like decided I'm gonna drop it for a while because I think it's ending this week. So since it's ending this week, I'm going to try and rewatch it at some point so we can do an episode on it. But I did drop it recently and I don't know if I'm gonna pick it up anytime soon. Not to say that it's like I said, I also got spoiled the end, like the killer this week on TikTok because and it's not a big deal to me because I'm not going to remember, but I was like, let me give it some time so I can forget. So those are like all the shows that I dropped. We're really speeding through this, aren't we? It's because I have a Twice concert to go to. I got to go see Momo. My girl Momo. Oof. So the shows that I started, I did start Cherry Magic, the original version, which, do you want to know what the full title of that show actually is? I have to grab it. Hold on. So we're actually recording this episode in my room, which is great. So now I have access to my shelf. So the full title, by the way, Lily, of Cherry Magic is Cherry Magic, 30 Years of Virginity Can Make You a Wizard.
Why?
Do you want me to tell you the plot? Sure. Okay. So it's about this guy who, when he turns, I'm not going to go into character names and all that. Basically, he's been a virgin his whole life. And there's like this saying that, or like this, like, it's a superstition that if you're a virgin when you turn 30 years old, you can read people's minds. You become a wizard.
Wow.
I don't get it, but it's funny. And I watched like the first 4 episodes of the Japan version. I haven't been taking notes of anything. This is like a show I've just been watching to watch. It's actually really good, you know, and I'm enjoying it a lot. So I might do that one for my birthday this year. It depends. I'm going to try to watch both, like I said, and see which one I'd rather do. But yeah, so since I couldn't watch the Thai version, I am probably going to Thailand in April. So that might be an episode we record right before my birthday. We'll figure that out. Because I wonder if I could get the DVD for Cherry Magic and then watch it here. If it has English subtitles on. Like how most of our DVDs come with subtitles for like other languages. I wonder if I could look that up. Because I know they sell those on DVD because I've seen them. I know it'd be fun. We could do like an unboxing. So we'll see that. And then the other show that I started, because I'm in my Ponpoon era, because in like 2 weeks, actually by the time we drop this, it'll be a week before, I am going to be going to the GMM Fan Day. I have the ticket to see Ponpoon and Fish Upon a Sky. I've watched it a couple of times already. It is a really cute one. It's really early on, I think, in their careers, because they're like babies when you look at them compared to them and me and V. Pooin is such a baby in that one. He's so cute. But that's a really cute one that I love watching. And it's got so many actors that I really enjoyed and want to see in other things. So I did start watching that one because who knows? Maybe we're doing an episode on me and V and Thame Po because of Lycan Ponpoon weekend I'm having. But I wonder if we can fit in Fish Upon the Sky soon, or if we'll do like a school episode because it's set in school. So... And then the other, I have continued, I will say, I know that's not a category, but I will say I have continued to watch Cat for Cash. And, oh my God, Lilia, Cat for Cash is so cute. We'll get more into that later. So those are all the shows that I finished, dropped, started. If you have any recommendations, mainly for BLs, please drop them in the comments, because Lord knows I already have a long list, but I'm looking for more recommendations for actors that I've seen before. Like, you can clearly tell who I enjoy watching by, like, some of the shows that I've talked about. And I would really just like to try to get more of a diverse, especially because we do record some episodes a little early. And we just like having shows on the back burner, especially for the rest of the year. Because I think we have up until, I think, the beginning of summer scheduled. And I don't know if we're going to do our Love in the Air months just yet, because Boy Next World and all that, I think, is about to finish airing. So I'm still trying to figure out when we're going to do that month. So I'd like to have some shows on the back burner in case we can't do that one right away. So yeah, should I do my monthly recommendation? Okay. So I was kind of going through it, and the show that I picked for this month, I'm picking because they've kind of gotten a bit of attention recently in the news, because a lot more newer fans are figuring out that they're actually dating. So it is my recommendation for the month for everyone, if you haven't seen it yet, is to watch Secret Lover with Chance and Dino. It's such a cute show. I was watching it again last night. It's one of those shows where I feel like once you watch it, you could drop into any episode and like just enjoy it. And it's so cute. It's so sweet. And those two are adorable. I really do think they are dating. And the only reason I say things is because I keep seeing people be like, well, they're a Taiwanese couple, so they lie a lot when they do fan service. But these two have been going on strong, and yeah, they're doing events and stuff, but I don't know. I mean, if that's how intense those types of BL actors go in terms of fan service, like, damn. Because they really go at it. So yeah, that's my recommendation of the month. And then just rather quickly, because we always do a ghost ship for funsies, because of a show that recently got announced and because yesterday recently premiered, I have to bring up my favorite ghost ship from my two Me and My Boys. It's going to be Boss and Fort. If you just look up Boss Fort on TikTok, you're going to find so many videos of them. I need that to become a thing for like one series. Like, just give me one series of those two together. It would be total magic. Anyway, that's my stuff for the month. Okay, people. I'm almost done with my makeup, Lilia.
Yay!
Woo! I just gotta do my eyeliner and then put a little more glitter on me. Isn't this amazing? So, it's time for news, glorious news. And we have 15 pieces of news. Actually, 16. Although some of these I'm combining because it's just too much work if I do all of these. So, some of these I'm going to start quick. So, as we said in our last episode, a lot of the times when we do news, it's going to be starting from when we last recorded the last episode to the date in which we record our end of the month episodes. We always record these about a week and a half to a couple of days sometimes before, depending on the month. So, the last time we recorded this type episode was on the 27th of January. So, that's when we're starting off, or the 26th. So it's kind of when we're starting off. The last piece of news will be every day after the day after that, or day of if it came out a little bit later. And then it'll end on the 20th, which is today. So if we miss anything from when this was recorded to when this drops, that is why. We'll probably touch on it next month if it's still as important or relevant, because we are going to touch on everything. I'm not going to talk about every time a show is on a new queue or if a scandal breaks out and then suddenly gets resolved before we can record it. Just because we want to keep these relevant as possible / things change, news changes, blah, 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 blah. Right, Rocky? So, shall we begin, Lilia? On January 27th, it was announced that Jet Lag Season 2 is coming out and that Bible and Jess will be starring in it. This is the Beyond Cloud comedy show that started Jess, Bible, Jess came in the last episode, but it was the one that Miles and Bible did together. I think it was like their first show they done together, so it's Kim Porsche. This show is like one of those things where like if you don't understand Thai comedy, I don't think you're gonna enjoy it. I have no idea what... I can't find any episodes online. That's the other problem, is that this is one of those where it's not an international drop show, but like obviously if you follow Beyond Cloud, you're going to see all the advertisements for it. I would say I'm excited for it if I could watch the fucking show. I really do want to watch it. I do want to do an episode on season 1 because I love Miles and I love Bible, and it there were some episodes I thought were funny. I just thought I was like, I want to judge it for myself. But I guess it's good that they are starring in it because who the fuck knows when 8 Hours is fucking coming out, since that was announced a while ago and it still doesn't come out. So yay. I will say around the same time the trailer came out for Jess and Apple's new movie. It's a horror movie about, I believe, Apple. I didn't really follow the plot that well because it's not a movie I'm gonna go see because I can't see it because it's, although no, because by the time I go to Thailand, it'll probably be out of theaters. I think it's about him being in love with a woman who's dead, but he brings her back to life somehow with some, like, I don't know what. And there's just many scenes of him having sex with the woman, which is necromancy. I don't know. And then they start getting haunted by whatever creature is, like, actually taking over her body, because apparently it might not actually be her. I could be talking out of my ass, but that's what I translated. I'm not going to look it up because why the fuck would I? I know there was some like drama with like Mile and Apple fans and Just Bible fans online because of how the movie's being promoted, because Apple was technically in a straight coupling in this one and everyone's waiting for the next Mile Apple show and Just Bible show. And I think they're doing like a fan like screening for the movie, and the poster that I saw, this is probably just one fan complaining, but I thought it was really interesting because I do see this argument a lot when it comes to Mount Apple and how people feel like they're being used a lot, which I'm like, Apple's doing this movie because he wants to. If he wants to promote it, whatever. I don't really know what the whole drama is, but from what I'm gathering, there was like a poster for a fan screening, and it had Mile and Apple's characters from the movie in their outfits, and then on the side it had not Mile and Apple, Apple and Jess, and on the side it had Mile and Bible in their jet lag outfit because I think they're going to be at the screening to like host it. Which, okay, I don't know why, though, they were in their jet lag character costumes on the poster. Like, why couldn't they just use a photo of Mile and Bible? Just because Jess is in jet lag. But I digress. It looked like an interesting movie. So it would just be nice if Beyond Cloud could have this stuff be internationally somewhere. I know they have some of their movies on Netflix. I'm surprised Jet Lag's not on Netflix because they have one movie on Netflix that stars Mile and Apple from, like, I think this was right after Kim Porsche had finished or came out. Like, their second project, and it has a bunch of Kim Porsche actors except for, like, Jeff. So whatever. So January 31st, Billy Babe left Idol Factory and Babe opened his own company. I have never watched a Billy Babe movie or show. I think they did the Red Envelope, whatever it was called, recently. I just thought that was really interesting because a lot of actors, because last month we talked about how Kuhart has left Wabi Sabi and started his own company. We're seeing the trend of a lot of actors starting to leave and open up their quote unquote own agencies, where it's like, it's not really agency. I feel like it's just so that they can, like, manage themselves or whatever, which is really interesting because, you know, you see a lot of these actors kind of have trouble with certain companies just not promote them well enough. And this is a great way for them to kind of really focus on picking their own projects. I think Billy Babe are actually together too. So yeah. The next news, so on February 9th, funny enough, when we drop this, the episode is already going to drop the day before. So OnlyFans Dream On finally announced a release date, which was February 27th. As of today, the 20th, GMM released the OST starting Gowan. I think they released it a few days early. I'm not sure if they were supposed to. I feel a lot of people were, like, not happy. But finally, OnlyFriends is happening. Lily, you can't watch this show. The first season drove me nuts. I was stressed watching the first season. This next one's probably, I mean, the reason why I wanted to bring this up is because I've been seeing a lot of people talk, because the day they released the release date, they released the poster, and it looks like a very generic BL, like, set in a college type drama thing, which the first season is, but at least it had more flavor. So a lot of people are saying it looks like a downgrade. Like, the character posters aren't really that it like seems very generic and doesn't have that oomph that, like, the first season have. And I had to kind of agree. It's nothing to do with me liking the first season to the point where I want it to be the same. I'm excited for these couples to be in the show. Like, even before Ao and Boone joined, I was excited to see what this new season was going to be about. But I do have to agree, like, it's just, the trailer was, like, not fully it. This is a show where, like, the couples are supposed to mix up. Like, people are cheating on each other or sleeping with each other's crushes or whatever. Like, last season, I think everybody kissed everybody but one person. And there was a lesbian in it. And they said, we don't have a lesbian as far as I can tell. And the trailer just very much was just the couples themselves making out with their pairing. And I'm like, okay, but I want to see the drama. Like, let me see two people who aren't in a pairing make out. Just for the fuckery of it. So I know it's going to be good. So I have high expectations for this one, and I hope it delivers, because I'll be really sad if it doesn't. Because I love Earth Mix. I love Album. I still am indifferent when it comes to Josh and Gowan. I was not a fan of My Golden Blood, so I'm hoping it's good. So that was kind of that. This next piece of news really pissed me off, but also made me happy, but kind of made me mad. So Lycan announced another tour. They are doing another world tour. This is their Dusk and Dawn tour, world tour. So this was really confusing because they are coming in 2 weeks, or like a week from when we drop this, for their Unleashed tour. They're doing 2 tours at once, basically. Because Dawn and Dusk, I believe they're either in the midst of doing or we're about to start. And the only reason we're getting the Unleashed tour here first is because we were supposed to have it back in November. I want to go see them again because this says to me, I'm not sure what songs they're going to be doing at Unleashed. They're clearly probably going to do only the set list from the last tour. And I'm wondering if this means they're not going to do any of the new songs they recently released around the time that the New York date was postponed, because they have since released a couple more songs that I really would love to hear live. But if you're telling me I have to now buy another ticket because they're coming in the summer, I don't remember what date, but they are coming back in the summer. I'm like, what the hell? I already I spent like a lot of money on that first ticket, and I would have felt better had they, instead of doing the tour Unleashed tour, if they had just said, okay, instead of us doing Unleash, if you have your ticket to this concert, if you want to keep it, we will transfer it to the new tour date, new tour, and you get to see the same benefits. Because it looks like it might be in a bigger venue. I'm not sure. And they could have easily kept selling like more VIP and all that. But instead it's like, okay, once this tour happens, get ready. In a month or two, you're going to have to buy tickets to a whole new concert. And I'm like, that's so fucking annoying. Like, GMM, like, I understand that the first time around, it wasn't their fault that they couldn't come down here. It was a whole visa thing, which, like, fuck this administrator for, like, or whatever is going on. Because there was a lot of tours that were just getting their visas delayed. And it was kind of getting to a point where I'm like, not to say that I'm not blaming this administration, because it partly is their fault, but I had to wonder what the fuck was going on that so many of these tours and companies kept having visa issues. Like, there had to have been something else going on. I don't know. But it was just frustrating because I'm like, okay, great. So I'm going to have to go see... Like, I don't have to see them again, but I'm going to want to see them again. Because how often do they tour here? So I don't know. I'm, like, indifferent on it. I just... All the frustration. And then the fact that, like, a month ago, the company... AXS made a mistake and sent everyone an email saying the show was actually canceled. Like... Panic attack for the worst, considering I was like, okay, maybe I'll get my money back, but like still. So I'm excited for them. I'm glad they're doing an actual war tour. They're doing more states in the States. I'm just like frustrated because I'm like, I know I paid for this ticket like last year, 2-3 months before the show date, which was supposed to be November. So like bought this ticket last summer, but it's like, again, I think I would have felt more indifferent had this been moved more to like the end of the year as opposed to like the summer. Because everyone's going to start touring this summer. We're seeing BTS in the summer. I'm sure TXT is going to tour in the summer. I don't know. Maybe I'm just angry because, like, this concert, I'm talking about Like It Now, was supposed to happen so many months ago. And I guess it's a good thing because we had some things change and I was able to make more freebies. But it was just the fact that, like, we waited so many months. You've held on to this concert. We haven't had it yet. And then suddenly you're announcing... Like, couldn't you have waited till after the shows to happen and then announce another tour? Or announce the US dates, like, later? I don't know. I was just so annoyed. I was, like, so frustrated. I was like, all right, I'm going to go see them again if I can. But I was like, ugh, whatever. So the next piece of news. Your Maniac has started script reading Faces the William East series that's coming out this year. Homeboy is going to be exhausted. So Lily doesn't know who this is. So William is actually part of the group that I'm seeing. He's in the band, Lycan. So they just did 2 singles recently. They have a tour. They're finishing up their current tour, finishing the next tour. He's also one of the actors doing the fan day because he's in the show that the fan day is for. So he's doing 2 days here in New York for shows. And then he's doing a show in LA. And then he's going to tour the summer, release this series. And I think... the show Me and Thee, they haven't recorded the spinoff yet. I think he's going to be in that one too.
He's booked.
And that's, I want to point out, that's just the shows and concerts and stuff. That doesn't include any of the promotional dates and stuff. They have Songcrest coming up, so there's going to be events there. GMM always does their own festival in May, so he's going to be part of that too. I think he's a part of that too. And they just did a 3-day concert the other day. So GMM's music company did a 3-day, 5 hours each day concert featuring all their artists. So it was Lycan, Clover, the girl group that we talked about once, and then all the solo artists all doing these shows. So Homeboy has not had like a day of rest. He's gonna burn out if they're not careful. Like, it's insane. So yeah, I'm excited to see the show. I have to finish Thapo, but yeah, this is more for me and Lilia. So TXT and Cordes have been announced to have comebacks in March. Dates to be announced. I know fans were like, I know this is the whole thing with MOA about how TXT isn't promoted well, and I do kind of agree to a point. I feel like they're really popular in Korea and Japan, and they have somewhat of a popularity here. It's just not as big as I think we would like. And Cordes, they've gained momentum, I will say. But I'm happy that they're all releasing music at the same time as BTS. And only because I loved it when TXT and BTS were together when they debuted, and then Boy With Love came out at the same time, like right before. Because we got so many cute videos, and it was just nice to see them all interact together. So it would be nice if we could see all 3 of them together. We haven't had a chance to, and I think that's the perfect opportunity. And yeah, if everyone's like, oh, they're using it they're using BTS to promote. Yeah, no shit. That's what companies do. Can we stop acting like these companies aren't businesses? It is getting annoying to see. I I will say it's my one thing about K-pop fans is when they get mad at companies for being companies. Like, I get the mistreatment part. There is that. But then they get mad over little things like that. And I'm like, it's a company. Of course they're going to use this opportunity to promote their 2 boy groups. I got into TXT. I will say the videos had come out, and then I got more into them when they were doing the shows with BTS on, like, Music Bank and stuff, because I thought those videos were just so cute. So, yeah.
You're gonna have a new Big Hit Family portrait.
We better get one. Oh my god, the last one was so cute. Also because, like, that made it more sincere whenever you see them mentioning BTS. Like, TXT, whenever they talk about it, you can tell it's, like, really a sincere, like, family relationship because we've seen them interact. So, like, I saved the video. I think they're talking about they were doing their TXT were doing, like, some show themselves, like, I think it was a to-do or something, and someone asked Kai if he likes sweet foods, and he mentioned how he didn't like sugar, and I think it was like Subin was like, oh, should I tell Sugar Han that you said that? But that, like, to me was like, see, you could tell they have that type of relationship show because we've seen that happen. Or when Dongjin was on Jin's show, or when 2 members of BTS came back around the same time. I can't remember who it was.
I forgot.
Me too, but there was like a video of them in like their first V Live. I think they were in their sister or something, and they were reading all the notes they got, and one of them was reading a note from Yeonjin, and they were like, his handwriting is like mine. It's terrible. But it was cute because you got that really. So it's like, I want to see that, especially with Cordis, especially because TXT is going to the military soon. So it's just nice that we get that interaction together before all that starts happening. But that's just me. So a new show, BL, was announced called I Flower You. It follows a florist who doesn't know how to express love with words and a man who has to learn to live in silence. It starts Job. I can't pronounce that last name. And the only reason I put this in the news is because it stars I suck at pronouncing Thai names, from Knockout. And the reason why I brought this up is because I didn't realize that he was like one of those actors who also just did like any type of pairing, because I like this pairing in Knockout, and I'm really sad that they're not doing another show, and I hope they do. Although I think he's going to be in that video game series that just did a welcome ceremony thing. I can't remember. So I just figured I'd announce that because I'm a little sad that they're not doing another show together, but I guess we'll watch. So there's like 3 pieces of news here that go together that I'm going to do last. And then there's one big piece of news that I think will go into my hot take. So I'll do that one last. So I'm going to kind of skip through and no longer do these in order. So it was announced The Journey of Killing You, which is a Japanese BL, has announced season 2. I had watched the first few episodes of season 1. I didn't finish it, but that's kind of interesting. I'll probably watch that. This one I'm really excited for. The Sun from Another Star, Story 2 of Forever You season 2 has announced a release date of March 4th. That's the couple I've most been excited about seeing. Problem is, WeTV hasn't hidden behind a paywall after episode 1. So I don't not want to pay for WeTV right now because I think it's like a 2-month series. So I'm either going to watch that on illegal sites, or when that series ends, I will pay for WeTV and watch everything that I want to watch on WeTV. The only issue is that there's still like 3 more stories from season 2 that have to get done. And so to pay to watch one story, stop, and then go back, it's just going to be a lot. I also have to figure out how we're going to do season 2. We're probably going to have to do like 4 episodes for season 1 and 2. Because season 1 was 2 couples, but it's 1 series. And then season 2 is like 4 different couples, but they're like separating them. So, but I'm excited for that. Boss and Noel announced a new comedy series that's coming out May 9th. It's called Crazy Love Moo. It's about Fu, a man who is deeply in love with Moo. But every time he tries to get closer, he gets rejected, but he tries to win him over. It's a comedy. I'm finally happy that they're doing an actual comedy. Love in the Air was more drama than comedy. Boy Next Door was definitely a drama. And we'll get to see more of Boss's funny side. It's more comedic for him, which I love because he's always really like the more serious one. So this will be a very like different show for him. And Noel has always been kind of funny to me because if you watch Love in the Air, Rain is more of a silly boy. So he's always played these sweet, silly characters. On this one, he'll play more of a, like, you know, it's still a silly character, but not as soft, I guess is the best way to put it. And it looks really funny and really exciting. I love everything Boss and Noel. This show and, like, Yesterday, which is the Fort and Pete show, won't be part of our Love in the Air month because they're not part of that, like, continuous series. But it is a show, like, Yesterday, I haven't watched because it's behind a paywall. So we'll just have to like wait and see when we're going to do those. All right. So this next one, there is no conclusion to this news yet. I don't know. So a couple years back, Jeff and Barcode were supposed to do a show together, or did do a show together called Wuju Bakery. Do I know what the plot of the show is? No, I think it's something to do with an alien or something. I'm not sure 100%. But it was a BL produced by a Korean company. They had filmed it, done everything, were filming promos, and then either the company went under or they shelved it and it never came out. It was highly anticipated because I think this was a little bit after Kim Porsche. And every year people were asking about it, and for years it was more or less like the consensus was, we're not sure when it's coming out. And then as of earlier this year, late last year, Jeff was basically, when he was asked about it, said, forget about it. It's not moving forward. We don't own the rights to it. We don't have access to it. Him and Barcode are doing a show called Happy Ending. Barcode is now appearing on GMM. So it's like a lot of things went down. Couple weeks ago, so the company that had produced it went bankrupt. And I guess someone else may have bought their stuff, including Wuju Bakery, because supposedly some stuff started popping up about it coming out this year. And that is going to keep the same cast. And then there was a rumor that it was going to change. They were just going to change the name and release it. And they said it was going to keep the same casting. So it was rumors that either they were going to refilm it or what. It was kind of really confusing. And people were getting really hyped because no one had said anything about it. No one was like announcing it. You know, Jeff and Barco hadn't said anything, and they are working together. As much as people don't, funny enough, because your Maniac Barcode is in it with the guy he's doing a pairing with. You know, I want Barcode to continue at least doing one show with Jeff. You know, I think they're great together, and I do want him in this new pairing or whatever. But as of, I want to say last week or like a couple days ago, Jeff's company, because he has a studio company, I think it's called Studio on Saturn, announced that, like, not directly naming this company that was saying all this stuff, but stating that if we aren't announcing something, then it's probably not true. And to just ignore it, because we would announce if our artist was going to be in a show or something. So it's since died down. The only thing is that the company that was doing big talks, that they own the rights to it, hasn't said anything since. So I don't know what legal aspect of it is. If they legally own the rights to the show, can they release it? Can Jeff and Barcode stop it? Why would they? It's a lot of things going on. So that's one of those big mysteries where this show is apparently finished. It is filmed. I would love to see it, but I don't know. So that was like one of the bigger newses. There is one more thing before I go into the big one that I forgot. So Lego, his birthday was the other day. He has been officially ordained as a monk for his 20th birthday. Congrats to Lego. It's a beautiful thing. I hope, I don't know much about what essentially why they do this or how they do this. I'm still looking into it. But it's apparently a big moment. Lycan recently went to give their blessings or get their blessings from him. This is like a big thing, I think, when most men in Thailand turn 20, especially because it's supposed to... It's a way for them to be thankful for everything they have in their life. And for him, it's his family, him being accepted for who he is, his career, where he is right now. And that's great. I don't know how long he's going to be ordained. I've been told for many people it can be between a week to a couple of months. I am praying it's only for a week. I mean, if it's not, I get it. But the only reason I'm saying that is because he is supposed to be at the show, and I would really be sad if he missed it and then I had to find another ticket, because I really didn't want to see him. He's my favorite and I love him, but I'm proud of him. So that's all the somewhat tame news. This last news is going to go into my hot take, and then we're going to go into our months. By the way, for anyone who's listening right now, we made stickers for the Twice concert to give out to promote the podcast. I hope that they go well. I'm wearing the jumper that Momo wore at the Victoria's Secret concert and the bra. So my titty looks good, but I need to put more glitter on them. It's going to be no men at this show. I'm mostly going for the women, but hey, who knows? What if Momo sees me? I have no idea where I'm sitting. I say she sees me with the binoculars she's going to need to see my ass. As I'm probably one of 30 girls also wearing this outfit. I don't care that it's cold. I spent a lot of money. Anyway. Okay, so this is the last piece of news, and then we're gonna go into possibly my hot take, and then our announcements, our picks for the month. So JoJo, who is the director of many BLs, GLs like Only Friends and Heart Killers, he recently left Twitter because he was attacked a lot with homophobic slurs these past few weeks, especially from fans of an upcoming GL called Girls Rules. They were blaming him for the lack of promotion. I think the most disgusting tweet that I saw was calling him the F slur. And he responded to it being like, yeah, I'm an F slur, blah, blah, blah. And then like he left. And I want to point out, these are real people who are working for real companies. We don't know why there hasn't been much promotion for these shows. I understand that BL, especially under GMM, tend to get more promotion or more of a forefront than GLs, but that doesn't give you the right to act a certain way. You know, it's not just the GLs that aren't getting promoted. Oh, look at how OnlyFriends has been promoted. Look at how Dare You to Death. Like, a lot of shows just aren't being promoted right now for whatever reason. GMM is just lacking. But to go off and use that slur, and to be honest, I don't care if the person who said it is like, well, I'm gay. It doesn't matter. You don't do that. You don't use that slur to attack each other. It's disgusting, it's demeaning, and it gives others who aren't part of the community a reason to use it. And it was just wrong. It made me so angry. It was just so disgusting. And I think it was like, not to assume this person's gender, but I'm only assuming from what I was seeing and reading. I think it might have been a girl who said it, which makes it even worse. I'm like, don't do that just because you're mad that a GL isn't being promoted. No one's against women. These shows are going to come out. It's just not right. So I kind of wanted to use that as the last news to kind of break this into my hot take, in that this is something I've noticed in both the BL and K-pop community. We do get a little too comfortable with certain communities and using certain words from these communities and assuming things about people who we believe are part of these communities when we're not ourselves part of this community. And even if we are, I think we go a little too far. I think we definitely over-sexualize people a lot in these communities, and we assume things about them without really knowing them. And this is just one example of like, why did you feel comfortable enough to use this slur? You are not part of this community as far as we're aware. You may be a fan. I mean, I myself am not going to swiftly talk about myself because it's private in what it is. But even if I was part of these communities in that aspect, and again, I'm not admitting whether or not in what way, because you don't have to assume my sexuality or anything like that, because I am who I am and I know who I am. None of you people know me. I still wouldn't use these words, even if I was part of the community, because there's a line. We don't know each other online. You don't know these actors. You don't know these singers. You don't know who they really are. It's just weird. I just think that if we're not careful, it just makes it look like it's okay to use these words, these terms, and we really need to learn to be more careful, more mindful, because at the end of the day, these are communities who have been undermined for many, many years, who are still being undermined, abused, and used, and you know, we don't want to be part of the reason why we continue. And we need to just be careful what we say, what we do, what we assume. And I'm not saying that to say that, oh, I assume that everyone is straight, because I've seen that argument a lot. I am going to tell you this right now. I don't assume anyone's sexuality. I don't care if you're gay, straight, bi. I'm just not going to outright and be like, oh, because you act a certain way, you must be this. I think we as a society need to stop putting labels on people. And it's unfortunate because we happen to be in fandoms that thrive on the idea of them being in these couplings and using the stuff to sell something. And that's the unfortunate part. But we enjoy it and we consume it. So I just think we all need to start being more mindful, especially because social media has been an overtake on these fandoms and stuff. And someday someone's going to say someone has already said the wrong thing and caused someone to feel so disgusted and hurt that he went off the internet. But God forbid what happens next. We have to remember that, you know, and this is not just talking about Thailand, but, you know, in Thailand, just because they very open and welcoming to the LGBT community doesn't mean that they still don't have people who are prejudiced against the LGBT community. It's still very much a relevant thing over there. Or in places like Korea and Japan. Like Japan is, you know, it releases a lot of BLs, but you know what? They don't allow them to get married. They treat them really poorly over there just as much. And in Korea, God forbid if you're ever seen outside as like I can't speak too much personally for couples because I don't live in Korea, but from what I've heard, it can be really tough being an LGBT couple over there because, I mean, we've seen cases of like someone like Holland. He's been attacked like a couple of times. We literally seen photos of him, you know, with his face beat because they know he's gay. He's out and open. Which is why I always think it's funny when people are like, this idol, he's definitely gay. And I'm like, you gotta realize, even if they were, they're most likely never gonna come out anytime soon. This is where they live, this is where their families are. It's just not safe. You know? There have been a few that have come out, which is great. But like, I just think that be loud and proud. You know, I just think be more mindful when you go a little too eccentric. Does that make sense to you, Lily? Did anything I say make sense? Because I'm trying to word it as carefully as possible because I don't want to seem like I'm against people, especially in the K-pop and BL fandom, being like, you can't say that this person's gay or whatever. It's just that sometimes fans get a little too, they overdo it. I think a little too much. Or like, you know, when it comes to like, you don't see this that much, but I do, with BL actors, a lot of times if they have girlfriends, it becomes like a huge problem. And I'm like, I don't get why they're actors. And this has become a thing where it's like, it's not like there aren't gay actors, you know, and then you erase the whole idea of like, what if they're bi or whatever? I don't know. It's like a whole thing. It's just something I've observed. Anyway, I think that's my hot take for the... Hopefully this one goes well. My hot takes at some point are going to be more of like how I want to see them. And I hope I word it decently. It's going to be a struggle sometimes because I want to get my mind out there, my wording out there without, you know, offending someone or making it seem like a certain way. And if it does, like, let me know and I can try to explain it a little bit better. It's just really hard to put into words something that I feel without feeling like someone's going to get offended. Which they always will because it's a hot take for a reason. But anyway, do you have any news?
No.
Cool, let's go to our monthly rankings and end this because I gotta get going. All right, everybody, it's time for our rankings of the month for February 2026. So for our boy of the month, because he was recently ordained as a monk and I'll be seeing him in 2 weeks, and he just turned 20 and he's my special boy, it's Lego, our little, I don't think they call it Maknae and Teapot, but the youngest, they call him the youngest, our sweet little baby boy. He is so cute. He's so adorable. I love him. So he's our boy of the month. I had to, especially when I heard, like, he's just my favorite and I can't wait to meet him. He's so sweet. And all right, show of the month. Funny enough, this is a very GMM heavy ranking for this month. The only thing that doesn't get GMM related is the song. It is Cat for Cash. I have been watching it. It is the first cow show. It is so cute. If you love animals, if you love cats, watch it. It's just so sweet, so adorable. I almost cried watching it the other day. They have some of the most adorable cats on there. First cow, again, showing why they have such amazing chemistry. I love them a lot. So definitely highly also recommend that along with Secret Lover. So yeah, Cat for Cash. Meow, meow, meow. And then our song of the month, because I'm singing Twice tonight, I had to pick a Twice song. So I chose The Feels because it is one of my favorite songs. I love it by Twice. It's so catchy, it's so cute. I love the music video. This was the song they opened when I saw them in Korea years ago. My first time seeing a concert in Korea was Twice. It was actually, I think, Christmas. I held me there Christmas Eve or Christmas Day. I can't remember. But this was the song they opened with. And fun fact, in Korea, you can't, and in Japan, you can't record concerts. You get in trouble for it. I was able to record the entire number without getting caught. It was crazy. Like, you weren't allowed to have your phone, and I somehow did it. It's on my it's on my personal TikTok, so you won't ever see it. But if I can find the tape, if I can download it, I'll post it on the podcast TikTok. And then our couple of the month, much like our show that has to do with our show of the month, it is First Cow. I just love them. Cat for Cash really just did something for me this month. And I can't wait. We were doing a Heart Killers episode, although I'm more of a dun-dun girly when it comes to that show. But First Cow really done something for me. And with Only a Friend season 2 come out, and I just remember they're going to be cameoing in it. And we need to do more shows. I need to watch more shows that they're in so we can do more of their shows. But yeah, Cat for Cash is definitely something I'm going to be watching on repeat. And they're just so adorable in it. And yeah, that's the end of our ranking. I hope you all had a wonderful February. We will see you all back in March, especially next week with our first episode of March, which is Cocoa Milk shit. Nope.
That's 27th.
Oh my God. Okay.
Run it back.
With our first episode of March being
Sweet Tooth Good Dentist.
Oh God. Yeah, Sweet Tooth Good Dentist. Wow, a GMM ending to a GMM heavy episode. So yeah, Rocky, do you have anything you want to say? But hey, he's in the room. All right, bye everybody. Say bye, Lilia.
Bye.
All right, guys, that's it for this entry. Make sure to follow us on all of our social media accounts. On Twitter, you can find us at FG Diaries Pod. On Tumblr, TikTok, and Instagram, you'll find us at FG Diaries Podcast. Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe, and hope you all have a wonderful fangirly day.